Not going to be a very long video, actually. It's just something to point out that the infamous disinformation platform headed by Alex Jones and InfoWars continues to misinform his own audience on purpose. I'm convinced it's that purpose at this point. I don't know if it is, but I mean, he just never corrects his issues, his erroneous issues. And this is pertaining, of course, to 9/11. And once again, as you could see here, he reposts something from Johnny Midnight. Now, I have this guy on block, as you can see, just another right-wing crackpot, no different than a, say, left-wing crackpot. And he plays the infamous video of CNN, where you see this video on YouTube once in a while. This footage aired only once after 9/11, never aired again on TV. Yeah, it never aired again on TV because it was a live shot. The videos still exist on YouTube. This is how stupid these people are. I mean, I'm convinced he's basically not retarded, Alex Jones. He knows exactly what he's doing. And that's the reason why I think he's doing this on purpose, to misinform millions and millions of people from responsibly investigating a very important topic. And this is not just the only topic misforms. It's Sandy Hook. It's every mass shooting. It's the presidential elections. And this guy's a habitual line stepper when it comes to lying, a habitual line stepper. So just watch the video here, and you see it's 54 seconds long, right? So let's watch together.
Outside the Pentagon, CNN's military affairs correspondent Jaime Macintyre. And Jaime, you got very close to where that plane went down.
That's right, Judy. A while ago, I walked right up to next to the building. Firefighters were still trying to put out the blaze. The fire, by the way, is still burning in some parts of the Pentagon. And I took a look at the huge gaping hole that's in this sideway, but from my close-up inspection,
there's an edit right there.
Huge gaping.
You can see whoever shot this video edited out that part. I'm going to show you the whole video, actually. It's 2 minutes, 24 seconds long, and you'll understand why they edited it, because it didn't fit a narrative they wanted to push. Watch again. This time, watch it in full screen.
Hole that's in this sideway, but from my close-up inspection, there's no evidence of a plane having crashed anywhere near the Pentagon. The only site is the actual side of the building that's crashed in, and as I said, the only pieces left that you can see are small enough that you could pick up in your hand. There are no large tail sections, wing sections, a fuselage, nothing like that anywhere around.
Right, so she had a video, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually play the whole video for you, and it actually tells a different story. In fact, you'll notice the difference right away. So what I want to do is I'm just going to load up the video here so you can actually see the whole thing in its entirety. And I mean, it's like right away you notice a huge difference. And you'll see the edited part of the video. Watch.
Jaime Macintyre. And Jaime, you got very close to where that plane went down.
That's right, Judy. A while ago, I walked right up to next to the building. Firefighters were still trying to put out the blaze. The fire, by the way, is still burning in some parts of the Pentagon. And I took a look at the huge gaping hole that's in this side of the Pentagon, in an area of the Pentagon that has been recently renovated, part of a multi-billion-dollar renovation program here at the Pentagon.
Oh.
I could see parts of the airplane that crashed
into
the building.
There's the part
Very
right
small
there.
Pieces
there
of
it
the
is.
Plane on
he
the
could see
program
parts
here.
of the airplane. See, this is the reason why I just consider, the whole Alex Jones, character a notorious sham. I hate this guy. I personally have hatred for this guy because he misinforms people on purpose. Now, why would he play that video? Why would he play an edited video when he himself could find out whether a plane hit the side of the Pentagon or not? I mean, there's an overwhelming amount of evidence that Flight 77 crashed in the Pentagon. And I'm going to show you that evidence, some of it, here.
Pentagon. I could see parts of the airplane that crashed into the building, very small pieces of the plane on the heliport outside
they didn't put that in the
building. The biggest piece I saw was about 3 feet long. It was silver and had been painted green and red, but I could not see any identifying markings on the plane. I also saw a large piece of shattered glass. It appeared to be a cockpit windshield or other window from the plane. Back here, the fight goes on to put out the fire inside the Pentagon. The heat from that blaze was described as absolutely intense, and the number of casualties here has still not been released. Dozens of people were taken away in ambulances, and the Pentagon is still not releasing any figures on deaths. But clearly, people who had offices in that what is now a huge gaping hole in the side of the Pentagon, clearly there were some people killed in this. All
right, so you get the gist of it, right? I mean, that's the part that set it out, that Jaime Macintyre actually physically saw plane debris. He physically saw it. Now, why is this a problem for Alex Jones? All right? Why is it the precursor to all his information is actually disinformation or wild speculation? Well, you know, I for anyone who watches my channel, you know, I'm very strict when it comes to information. I run it through the scientific method to actually gauge whether the information I'm accessing is verifiable, whether it's fact or fiction, like the who, what, when, where, and why. You know, scientific method has 7 steps. Now, you know, I've done a whole video on this. I don't feel like repeating myself, but the 7 steps of the scientific method are question, research, hypothesis, experiment, data analysis, conclusion, and communication. And it's a process. I mean, everything we read, everything that we learn, we have to gauge whether what we have learned is either true or false. You can't go in a court of law and basically say that I have evidence that a plane did not hit the Pentagon. And if you actually went there and showed them this video, not only would you get in trouble, but your lawyer would be fined. So would you. You probably would be held in contempt. Just like April Gallup did when she was actually hit with well, her lawyers were hit with a lawsuit, $5,000 fine for each of her lawyers for bringing in such a fallacious argument. And later on, she amended that argument to include American Airlines and Osama bin Laden. A lot of people don't know that. I think it's completely silly. But Alex Jones can basically do his own research. Oh, plane did hit the Pentagon. You can always Google plane debris inside Pentagon 9/11. I'll give you a short video that was actually shot inside the Pentagon for a National Geographic documentary. This is A&E Drive.
What's obvious is over there we have a section of the wheel, one of the wheels.
You see a tire.
There was a section in here that actually said American Airlines part number.
That's going to grab an American Airlines part, identifying markings. Here it is, the landing gear.
We found this part in the vicinity where we were standing earlier today. It's been washed a bit away. But hopefully with something like this, we'll be able to identify exactly where it came from.
I mean, look, right here, American Airlines, right there. It's right there in front of you. Oh, they planted that debris. All right, first you said no plane crash happened at the Pentagon. Now you're saying they're planting plane debris, right? Well, you don't get the luxury of just making accusations. You have to prove it. Did this guy basically just plant that piece of debris there? How do you prove that? In order to make that claim factual, you have to prove that this guy took this piece of plane debris and planted it there, right? Yeah, I wish I had the simple luxury. I would have less stress over the years. It wouldn't take me 16 years, now 17, to study this one topic out of the millions and millions of topics in human history. And basically fact check everything I've learned. That was the most time-consuming thing I had to ever encounter. But I did it for a reason, because I really cared about the truth, disseminating fact from fiction.
And maybe that'll help us for purposes later on. Investigation, find out exactly what part of the aircraft this is.
There's fuselage right there. Landing tire, landing gear tire. Look, landing wheel, right there, right? So basically, you know, in order for you to basically prove that this guy was planting plane debris, and all that plane debris just basically was planted, how do you go about doing that? In order to make that statement true and run it through the scientific method, good luck, because you can't do it. You haven't been able to do it in all these years. And you wonder why you're stuck right where you are, the internet. Arguing like Alex Jones on his own platform, which, I consider a cancer. It's like spreading cancer. Millions of people watch Alex Jones, unfortunately, and they believe everything he says, just about. And then you have the eyewitnesses, right? So many eyewitnesses. And, I'll just play some just for posterity. Then we have eyewitnesses like this guy.
You could tell it was like a suicide bomber. But I'm not saying it was a bomb, but, it was a plane. And it just came, it came streaking down and it hit short. It didn't go into the top of the Pentagon. It came like in short, and then everything sprayed up, like a fireball sprayed up on the wall.
It was just amazing, something you only see in the movies. That a huge airplane looks to me like a 757 American Airlines, probably flying around 60 to 70 yards on top of my car.
Oh my goodness.
Everything was shaking. And the next thing we saw, that airplane crashed in the Pentagon. And the Pentagon sucked in the airplane, so we didn't see any more part or any pieces of the airplane.
A piece of the aircraft actually landed and broke your windshield, as I understand it.
Just landed by the car. And
Unbelievable.
This is one of...
Now, Aziz, in this situation that took place today, what did the other motorists do? This is, it's almost macabre to have a piece of something like that in your hands, something that is a part of such a national, international, world tragedy.
Making that up?
Took place on this day. And you and
just the time I turned my head to the left, it seems like the pilot or the person who was in charge of the airplane put full torque or throttle to the airplane.
It seemed like it was going faster as it went into.
Exactly, yeah. It was
ground to a standstill, and I looked off. I was, looked out my window. I saw this plane, a jet, American Airlines jet, coming, and I thought this doesn't add up. It's really low, and I saw it. It just went. I mean, it was like a cruise missile with wings. Went right there and slammed right into the Pentagon. Got out and walked over, and I saw
the control tower, and the soldier went downstairs to the restroom. And I just look out the side of the building, I see a plane run right into the side of the Pentagon. And when it did, the whole ceiling and everything just fell.
There were no flaps down, and it looked like a deadly missile on the final phase of its mission into the building.
Captain McCoy, Engine Company 101B. We were coming down 395 at the time of the accident. We saw the plane come into the Pentagon. My crew members is firefighter Andrea Kaiser. She was driving. Backstep people were firefighter Jamie Lewis and firefighter Alan Becker. And this particular plane was awful low. And as we were coming down on the 395, it came across the front of us, and it was low, too low.
Okay, look, I mean, if you're going to say that the eyewitnesses are lying or they're in on it, well, you don't get the luxury of making that statement without providing information that shows that all these eyewitnesses, and there were over 100. At first, I thought it was 83, but there were over 100, actually, as I learned over time. There were over 100 people that saw this plane crash into the side of the Pentagon. You have to prove that they're lying. You have to run it through the scientific method, each and every one. You can't just basically say everyone's lying because I said so or that Alex Jones said so. You don't get the luxury to do that. You'll be hit with a frivolous lawsuit. You walk into court and basically say that all the eyewitnesses are lying and that you have proof, and the proof is that Alex Jones said no plane hit the Pentagon. Imagine the silliness. And you look ridiculous listening to this guy. This is the reason why I personally have hatred for Alex Jones. And I shouldn't, because I shouldn't waste my time using my energy to actually hate somebody, but I hate him on the level that he is intentionally misinforming millions of people. And, I'm trying to investigate 9/11 responsibly because I still want to hold people responsible. Now, for those who say, oh, we'll never get a new investigation, we'll never go to court. Well, that's not the point. The point is the effort behind it. If we had If I had Alex Jones's audience and I had everybody, millions of people behind me to basically want to get an investigation through proper research and proper investigative mindset, we would probably get somewhere. We would probably get a new investigation because we have new information that came out in the last 5 years that warrants such. But we ain't going anywhere with millions of people basically saying there's no hijackers. The hijackers are alive. The hijackers are patsies. The planes don't exist. Planes are drones. The planes are holograms. I mean, you're all over the place. You're like a jumping bean. You're like jumping from one plane to the next, and you don't know which is real. You don't know which is. This is the reason why I'm very anal when it comes to belief and knowledge. Knowledge is absolute. Belief is not. You can believe anything you want. Do you know it? And that's the difference. That's why I am quite strict about what I share as information, because I want my audience to be informed, because information is power, and power belongs in the hands of the people. All right, that's enough wasting my time on this slob. You get the gist of it, right? All right. See you in the next video, everybody. Take care. Have a great weekend, by the way.